Speedrunning. It has existed ever since the first video games came out. Our gamer instincts have us craving not only to beat our favorite games, but seeing just how fast we can do it. We've discovered glitches, skips, and formulated routes just to see how much we can break a game to reach the end as fast as possible. Recently, the release date for a game I've long been waiting for, Bendy in the Dark Revival, has came out, and what's even better about it is it releases on my birthday. So I had the great idea of playing Bendy in the Ink Machine once again to take a walk down memory lane. But I wanted to change it up, since I already have uploaded the full playthrough of the game on the channel, which you should totally go watch, it's great. So I decided to speedrun the game, not having played it since April of 2020. I have no route, no glitches, no skips, only whatever memory I have of the game. And I had to get in the right mood for this playthrough, so I busted out what I thought would be the best attire for this speedrun. So after some technical difficulties, it was time to start the speedrun with Chapter 1, Moving Pictures. We began with receiving a letter from our old pal Joey Drew, inviting us back to the studio. We quickly made our way to the ink machine, raised it up, and began our fetch quest for the 6 relics: a wrench, a Bendy plush toy, a gear, Joey's book, a music record, and the ink container. After placing them on the pedestals, we turned the ink pressure on and powered up the machine. After getting pushed over by Demon Bendy, we ran for the exit, only to get pranked and plummet further down in the studio. So we turned some valves, chopped some wood, and passed out after having a rager with a pentagram. And now we move on to Chapter 2, The Old Song. We progressed through the first area, saying hello to our good friend, Sammy Lawrence. After powering up the door, we walk into the dark and spooky music department to discover our exit is just down a pair of stairs. So we throw the power switch and are greeted by a swarm of our first enemy type, the Searchers. After dispatching them, we had to access Sammy's safe haven to turn our first valve. So we memorized Sammy's song, and after playing his tune, we turned our valve, and once again we were faced with another ambush by the Searchers. After committing genocide on the Searcher kind, we went to the sewers to retrieve our wheel from another Searcher, killing him in the process, but complimenting his style. We then turned the second valve and drained the ink in the stairwell. And everything seemed fine until we were ambushed by Sammy himself now. We sat through the entirety of Sammy's monologue of how Ware is sacrificed, only then for him to be brutally murdered by Demon Bendy. So we broke out and frantically escaped Bendy, only for us to run into him again, and quickly run away and finally escape him this time. We then discovered that somebody's in the same room as us, but thankfully it was our new ally, Boris the Wolf. So now we go into Chapter 3, Rise and Fall. We wake up in Boris' safe house only to discover we are being held hostage until we cook him some food. After feeding this demanding dog, we quickly left his safe house and made our way to the Heavenly Toys workshop. After powering up the toy machine, we had to begin our quest of getting the Tommy gun. To do so, we switched the little ink figure to an ink machine, and then we were introduced to our date with an angel, Alice Angel. We then had a very important choice to make: demon or angel path. We chose the demon path to ensure our gun later on, and now all we had to do was not die for the rest of this chapter to ensure we can get our hand on that gun. So we made our way down to Alice Angel's lair, and she explained that we now must run errands for her in order to escape. So we head back to the elevator to begin our first task, collecting gears. On our way up to level K, Alice explains that Demon Bendy can spawn at any time, and we must hide in time or we die. This is what makes this chapter the scariest. Demon Bendy's unpredictable spawns make you on edge this whole chapter, fearing that you could die at any moment. After collecting our 3 gears, we head back down to Alice for our second task, fetching extra thick ink from swollen Searchers. And this part is perhaps the scariest part of the game, with the most unpredictable jump scares. Nope, not one back here. Oh my god, never mind, Jesus. So after getting scared silly by really loud Searchers, we retrieved our ink and returned them to Alice, only to be assigned for our next task, getting power cores with a plunger? Anyways, this is where Demon Bendy should have spawned, but to my surprise, he never did. So we got our power cores with no problems and came back down for our next task, cutting Bendy cutouts. This task guaranteed a Demon Bendy spawn, since after cutting every cutout, he would spawn because you pissed him off. So we headed up to level K and began in the Heavenly Toys, cutting every cutout, making our way back to the elevator for our final one. After cutting it, Alice warns us that he will spawn because he's angry, but conveniently, because he already spawned behind me when she finished her line, he never spawned by the elevator. So I hopped in and went back down to level 9, not having any Demon Bendy encounters for all the tasks, putting me in the clear for my Tommy gun. After dispatching the Butcher Gang, Alice told us we had to go down to level 14 and retrieve ink hearts while avoiding the projectionist. But this is where the Tommy gun came in. With the gun, we could kill the projectionist with ease, allowing us to traverse his inky domain without fear. Got him. So we collected up the hearts, said goodbye to our Tommy gun, and headed to the elevator to finally leave the studio. But Alice had different thoughts. She wanted our friend Boris so she could consume his heart. So we plummeted down deeper into the studio and Boris was taken. This was where Chapter 3 ended, and Chapter 4, Colossal Wonders, had begun. We wake up after surprisingly surviving an elevator crash unharmed and realize we must rescue Boris. So we begin traversing through the chapter, meeting the Lost Ones, opening a secret door, almost dying on a trolley, and getting touched by ink hands. Alice Angel sees that we're coming and taunts us that Boris doesn't have much time left to live. So we continue on our path, running into a horde of Lost Ones and venting so we can get closer to Boris' location. This is where we discover Bendyland, a thrilling abandoned amusement park full of fun games and rides. After knocking some bottles over and shooting some targets, we gain access to our first power area, stealthily avoiding the Butcher Gang. We distract them with some cans and continue powering up the haunted house where Boris is being held. We then are introduced to our first boss fight of the game, Bertram Piedmont. We quickly dispatch this crazed amusement park ride and go right up to him face to face as he dies. We then head to our final power area, guarded by the man we murdered with a gun, the projectionist. We throw the power switch after avoiding being caught, and we think we're in the clear, only for the projectionist to chase us into a little miracle station. As the projectionist is about to expose us, Demon Bendy shows up, and the two of them throw hands before Demon Bendy ultimately decapitates the projectionist and wins the fight. We open the doors to the haunted house and hop in the coaster as Alice tells us she has a surprise waiting for us. We reach a dark abyss only for some giant hands to grab onto our ride. We discover Boris has been turned into Brute Boris, a giant amalgamation of parts put together to be our doom. So 3 swings to his mechanical heart later, we get to watch our friend tragically die and fade away. Alice becomes enraged and chases us, but before she gets us, she is stabbed by an unknown hero. She falls and we look up to see another Alice Angel and Boris, who we know as Allison Angel and Tom Boris. And now we move on to the final chapter, Chapter 5, The Last Reel. We begin this chapter waking up in captivity by the hands of Allison and Tom. They don't trust us as of now, and Tom especially doesn't like us, and goes out of his way to throw our food to the ground. After waiting for a long time, we finally get to start playing the game, and escape our cell to follow Allison and Tom. We start by traversing through an inky river, while being followed by a giant hand that could destroy our entire boat if we're not careful. We evade the hand and make it to what I like to call the Lost Haven. We walk into town and are greeted by a familiar face, Sammy Lawrence. He wants us dead, so we fight him until his mask falls off and we get curious. We approach him, but he throws us down to the ground and is about to kill us before Tom swoops in and stabs Sammy's head with an axe. Tom, finally trusting us, gives us an axe, and we are then ambushed by a horde of searchers and lost ones. Everything is going fine until...
Alright guys, oh god. Wait, they're stuck! I can't use them anymore! No! Wait, they're stuck over here then.
After getting Allison and Tom unstuck, we finish the fight and continue our way through the chapter. We walk along some planks and then plummet down into what appears to be an office area. We find out we must access the film ball, and in order to do so, we must create pipe pieces to drain the ink. Butcher Gang members patrol the halls, and normally you must be stealthy and avoid them to get your pipe pieces in one piece. But my strategy is to use Demon Bendy to kill the Butcher Gang. and everything goes according to plan until I accidentally discover an area where the gang does not die from Demon Bendy. So with no choice left, I take my first death of the run, but on the plus side, the gang did die, so I got the rest of my pipe pieces, drained the ink, and headed into the film vault. We discover that a film reel we need is missing, and realize that now we must go to Demon Bendy's lair. So after Tom punches the door open, we make a mad dash to his lair, a giant ink machine. We head on in, and we find out the only way to kill Demon Bendy is to play a tape labeled The End. Demon Bendy shows up, and he's not very happy, so he transforms into his final form, Beast Bendy, and the final boss has begun. We first have to throw some switches to unlock a series of doors, allowing us to traverse to the next area of the fight. In the next area, we turn a valve, allowing ink to flow through the tubes, and then Bendy shows up. We now have to psych him out to make him break all 4 tubes, and then ink splatters in the room, sucking Bendy into it. We then finally play the tape and watch as Bendy dramatically dies to some screen saying, "The End." The room fades to white and we find ourselves in Joey Drew's apartment. We walk into the kitchen and we then end time there, as that is the last playable moment of the game. So there you have it. I speedran Bendy in the ink machine in 1 hour, 41 minutes, and 3.12 seconds. It was a long run filled with many ups and downs, but I'm happy with my time in the end. I now have all the information from this game I need to go into Bendy in the Dark Revival, ready to see what new monstrosities Bendy has cooked up for us. Otherwise, thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed watching this summed up speedrun. But if you want to see the full unedited run, I'll leave a link to it in the description below. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Farewell.
Can you romance the original ink machine? Not right now. Not right now. But I mean, feel free to do it on your own time though.